Hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode of OIS in Source, the Football Manager Save brought to you by Just Football and the Nordic Football Podcast. We are back for another episode with Orgryte, our chosen team in Sweden, and well, have a look at the screen in front of you because as you can see, the biggest result in Goteborgsson's history, Jonatan Goteborgsson, the manager of Orgryte, a 5-0 win over Hammarby, the mighty Hammarby from Stockholm. And that is the only place to start on this episode because what a result it was. Now, the last time you joined us on the last episode, we just won a massive relegation 6-pointer away to Degerfors, which you can still go back and watch. Check it out on our YouTube playlist, Just Football, on YouTube, or at Nordic Footpod on Twitter to get the links. And well, yes, after that game we had a match against Norrköping. We'll go through the results shortly and just bring you up to date on the latest games. We've played 5 or 6 games since then, but the first place to start is Hammarby. Now, out of the blue, out of nowhere, so we played Degerfors. Obviously that was the game we brought you live on the last show, and then we lost at home to Norrköping. And went into this game really needing a result, but thinking to ourselves, it's Hammarby, probably not going to win. Chances low. The bookmakers massively backed Orgryte, massively backed Hammarby. Nobody gave Goteborgsson or Orgryte a chance, the relegation contenders. But look at these goals and this performance. A display of supreme counter-attacking excellence in this game, to be honest, and a 5-0 win. And yes, we tweaked the team. Few players came in, which I'll show you in a minute, but I'll put Orgryte there with a goal. And this game was all about one man, really. Although it was, to be honest, it was an exceptional team performance. But one man, Lucas Fernandez, keep an eye on him because you're about to witness a stunning hat-trick. And now look at all these counter-attacks. Another one here, Gyökeres, sensational run, bang from Fernandez, 6-yard box. We played a different sort of tactic in this game. We went for a highly structured counter and no offside trap, and basically sat in our own quarter and played direct passing. So essentially sat really deep, or as deep as possible, and then when needed, hit them on the break with Gyökeres out wide and Orgryte. The pace of Ruben Gatter as well, there as you can see. Goalkeeping howler from Christiansen in goal for Hammarby. Making it second goal for Fernandez. And then the icing on the cake. A lovely move from Svensson. Soren Reeks, who's gradually worked his way back into our thinking. A fantastic run. Lucas Fernandez, hat-trick. And the man who has defined the save to a certain extent, he's been one of the key protagonists, one of the main players in this save since we started the YouTube edition, which we started obviously in our first season in the top division in Sweden, having won promotion. And Fernandez has been a talking point, that's for sure, in the comments on YouTube. He's been someone that many of you have commented on and left your opinions. Is he good enough to make it at OIS? Well, that was his hat-trick. He's not been quite as good since, to be honest. Missed the last 2 games because in the following match he was pretty poor and was taken off. We gave him another chance, but he didn't quite do it. So that just shows you the inconsistency which defines the mercurial Lucas Fernandez, who we still haven't really been able to get the best out of yet. Although in that game against Hammarby, I mean, look at that performance, 9.7 out of 10. Nearly perfect. 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 goals. Magnificent from the Brazilian, who's actually not happy now with lack of first team football. But he hasn't really deserved it in the last few matches. But anyway, let's recap. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and if you missed it as well, we're now on Twitch, so check out Twitch Just Football, twitch.tv/Twitch Just Football, or follow us at Just Football or at Nordic Foot Pod on Twitter, and we'll put the links out regularly. But yeah, if you're on Twitch, then just have a look for Twitch Just Football, give it a search and follow us, because we brought you a live broadcast this week on on Twitch, first ever Twitch broadcast, and it went pretty well. We played a few games and recapped the season. So this is following on from that, and we'll just run you through a couple of games before we play. What we're going to do today is play the Swedish Cup second round. So you're going to get a glimpse of the kids in action, which I think is a good opportunity to have a look at some of the, maybe the stars of tomorrow in this Orgryte IS, maybe players who could make it, or might be a few who just simply can't cut it. We've got a tough game against AFC Eskilstuna in the draw. It's supposed to be a preliminary round draw, and it's supposed to usually get an easy draw, but we've been given a relatively difficult one away from home against a team that was in the same league as us last season. So obviously we got promoted, they got relegated. But yeah, we're going to play them. We've selected the team already, so we'll go straight into it in a second. But yeah, the games since then, obviously we beat Hammarby. So the last game you saw on YouTube was the Degerfors match. Timmy Stolt Hermansson, remember that game and the amazing counter-attack. If you haven't seen that back, I recommend watching that episode, because it was a thrilling match to watch. Played Norrköping, couldn't really expect to beat them. They're top of the table at the moment, spending millions in this league. We cannot compete, and we lost 1-0 unfortunately. We gave it a good fight, but just didn't manage to win or get anything. Then there was the Hammarby game with 3 games live on TV, which was good for the finances and good for the exposure. Everybody on TV watching OIS in source, watching our team smash Hammarby to pieces. Goteborgsson's biggest ever victory in this save. And then, yeah, unfortunately, the next game we lost to Ostersund at home. Away 1-0. We brought that to you live on Twitch, so anyone who did tune into the Twitch broadcast will have seen it. Disappointing result, to be honest. We switched off momentarily just before half time, and Ruben Gatter at the back post conceded a goal, and we lost 1-0, which was disappointing. Fernandez, as we say, we played him up front, and yeah, we didn't manage to win that, which was a shame. Then 2 draws since. Bromma Poikina at home should really have probably won that game, maybe had good chances. Being the home team, wanted some revenge on them because they beat us 2-1 in the last match we played against them. And then more recently, our last game, Kalmar, a 1-1 draw away from home, and this was a bit of a heartbreaker. If we just show you the goals very quickly. Batista Mendy, who we've managed to keep, we mentioned he's been linked with Leeds United, he put us 1-0 up away from home. Soren Reeks with the assist. Reeks has had a few issues with the management recently, because he's not been happy with lack of first team football, despite the fact he's been out for 4 months with a hip injury. But then, yeah, 89th minute again, the same old issues that hamper OIS on this save. Stamina and just an ability, maybe lack of maturity. Youngest team in the league, don't forget. And we just couldn't see it out. 90th minute, 4 seconds before the 90th minute of gutting. 1-1. That game, I mean, if we'd won it, you could be looking at potential staying up. So yeah, we've conceded so many goals late as well. It's becoming a real theme of this save, and wasn't too happy with it. In the grand context of things, I mean, we're still doing well, so couldn't complain too much. But yeah, if we'd been able to turn some of these late defeats and late draws into wins, we really would be probably higher up the table, wouldn't we? As it stands, 3 points above the relegation zone, the playoff place anyway. But Osters have a game in hand on us, so of course if Osters were to win that game, well, we've got a slightly better goal difference, but yeah, it's looking precarious. So it's going to be a tough run-in. There's 7 games left. It's a 30-game season, and yeah, it's going to be a tricky run-in to get enough points to see off Osters, Gefle and Degerfors, and maybe try and climb above our big rivals IFK Göteborg. But we will try and do it. And so we're going to play this game, AFC Eskilstuna. One other thing to do before we start is just review the transfer window, because the transfer window just shut last week, and there's been a couple of signings. which you want to have a look at, I'm sure, because one of them's going to be playing in this game. So we loaned out quite a few players. As you might have remembered, we sold our top midfielder Alexis Jaguda to Lech Poznan in Poland for 140k, which was a bit disappointing, but he was out of contract. He wasn't going to sign. He's a very good midfielder, but he was never going to sign, so he's left. Brought in a little bit of cash, and the rest of them are loans. So we've loaned out a Tibling Ugu, who's a young striker, Lindberg, who's a young centre-back who we've got big hopes for, Adam Anderson, our star, promising goalkeeper who Arsenal wanted. We've loaned him out to Dalker just to get first-team experience. The more experience he gets, the better he can become. 20 years old, he looks like being a real prospect. Arsenal sniffing around him. Then Ryan Brewster, we loaned him to Crewe. As you can see, he's 20, and on this game he's not exceptional yet. So we snapped him up from Liverpool when he was released, but he's not quite done it really for us. So I think he needs more experience as well. So we've loaned him to League One. He'll get some fantastic experience there, hopefully, and come back a much better player. And we released one kid, Jacob Lundin, who for some bizarre reason was complaining about lack of first team football. So he's nowhere near the squad. I don't know what he was thinking. So we released him. And on the ins, and just a few players we brought. We did think about smashing our transfer budget. Talked about it on Twitch. Christian Kouakou, we tried to sign, a player from Lorient for 300k. But his agent wanted a 100k signing on fee and agent fee combined, which we simply couldn't afford. So we've gone for a couple of punts, young players. Zakaria Diallo from Caen in League One. We've signed him. I think when the last episode he was on trial with us, and we've done the deal. He took a really reasonably decent contract offer, $325 a week. We can afford that and hope to develop him. He's already made his debut. Done okay. As you can see, his stats are, in some areas promising, and in some areas pretty poor positioning. But, good natural fitness and pace, agility, acceleration, dribbling, finishing, first touch, heading, technique, flair, decisions. If he can, marry up a few other things and improve in some areas, maybe there's a player in there somewhere. So, worth a punt for free. Then we also brought in another player from France, Virgilio Postolacci. I think we mentioned him on the last episode. He was on trial as well with us. Former PSG man. PSG reserves. He never played for PSG. First team. 3 goals and 6 games for the reserves. And, he's vice captain of Moldovan international team. So he's got experience, 27 caps at the age of 20. And, we do need a striker. And there's an issue on this save, trying to find a top striker who you can really step up. Patrick, as we've shown, he's had injury problems and hasn't quite done it yet this season for us. He's just coming back from an injury now. He's our main striker, probably our best player, arguably. But as you can see, he's missed a lot of games. He's not quite scoring the goals that we want. Only 2 in the league. So we're still looking for that, striker who can keep us up maybe. Still rotating that attacking area a lot. And the final signing, young left back Kevin Umbuta from Congo. And now his stats were very good for Congolese team Vita, AS Vita. As you can see there, great average ratings over the course of his young career. 3 caps for the national side, and maybe a work in progress, one for the future potentially, especially with Ruben Gata leaving now at the end of this season. So, he's not our best left back yet, but he's joined now. He'll go into the under-21s and maybe we can develop him. So, relatively cheap as well, free transfer. So 3 new signings. So welcome to the club for those guys. And I'm sure you'll be seeing them in the weeks and months to come on this OIS in-source save. Now let's get into it. This is a cup game, and the reason we're bringing you the game, as we mentioned, is I feel like it's good to have a little look at our young players and our maybe talents of the future. Who can we maybe develop, and who isn't really cut out for OIS. Now, in some areas, of course, we've got older players, because I don't want to lose this game, because if we lose this game, we're out of the cup, and the board, they have a minimum expectation that we make it to the group stage. So if you win this game, we go to the group stage. And obviously if we lose it, then we're out. So it's a one-off match. And I don't want to lose it. So there's a few players that we like who haven't played recently. Big Patrick Hopkins, our American captain. He has not played for a long time, as you can see here. So, we might not give him a new contract. He's 32, going on 33. He'll be going on 34 next season, obviously. And although he's a stalwart of the club, I'm just not sure if he's going to make it really at OIS going forward. But we do love him. Top player in the past. So we're going to play him in this game. Just give him just remind him that we still love him. Luis Pedro is back. Now, if you remember on one of the previous episodes, we had a big bust up with him. And we relegated him to the reserves. And he has not played for us since. This was early in the season. He had a few poor games and was complaining about bits and bobs. He then dislocated his shoulder. He played in the reserves since. But we've patched up. We've settled our differences. Still an influential player. One of our best defenders, really, in terms of the coaches. If you look at that, one of our best defenders still. So it was a no-nonsense gamble from Goteborgsson, but he will come back in now. This will be his first game since that bust-up. Chance for him to get some match fitness and maybe integrate himself back into the team. He's dropped all his complaints, and now he's pleased with everything. So, all is forgiven, and let's get him back in the team. Then we've got Daniel Hermansson. Now he is a young player who's been tutored by one of our players. I think it was Luis Pedro. So let's see how he's developed. He's not played at all this season for us. Been loaned out a few times in the past. This is probably make or break for him. 22 as well now, so he's not really even that young. Can he make it at OIS? This could be his final game for us. Then we've got Liam Begovic, who is a youngster who's been on loan at Mjøndalen. 20 years old again. We've got a very young squad. He went to Mjøndalen on loan. Didn't play as much as I'd have liked, but he got 10 games. Did okay. Comes back now. He's been in our first team for a long time, as you can see. He's played 16 games for us in 2016 when he was sort of 16, 17. So he's got experience, but he's still got youth on his side. Then we've got Wiklander Ljungqvist. We talked about him in the past. He's another young academy left back. Again, he was the one who got a lot of game time early on in the old days of the Save in the second division of Sweden. Got a lot of playing time when he was 16, 17, and he got a lot of injuries. Missed about a year of football due to injuries and hasn't really progressed since. So let's give him a chance here, see what he can do if he's developed. Then we've got Sebastian Olsen, who we've just signed a new contract. He's a 20-year-old centre mid. He's improving all the time. We've given him 2 league games as well, just like a few minutes, and he did quite well. So one of the problems is he's not playing much for our reserves, but I want him to get some game experience because I do think that he has some potential. As you can see, his stats are improving and he's working hard in training. Then we've got Antoine Makumbu. So a lot of these players are new. You won't have seen a lot of these players. They're fringe players, really. They're not key men. Makumbu is another one. He's come from Monaco. We signed him a season ago and he played a fair bit. The fact that he's a foreign player means he sometimes misses out on the matchday squad because we have to have a certain amount of Swedish players in the squad, at least 9 minimum. So sometimes he's been a bit of a victim of that, but I do have high hopes for him. And this is a chance for him to prove himself. The last game he played, he got sent off after 36 minutes. So, there you go, against Bromma in 32 minutes. So he was on the naughty step ever since. This is his chance to redeem himself. And then up front we've got Oppe Nguet, who he's our French winger. Not been fantastic recently, and I need him to start scoring. Apart from the Hammarby game, he's not really scored for 4 or 5 months. Then we've got Soren Reeks, who's going to come into the team. Now, he's been complaining about lack of first-team football. We put him on the transfer list, and he's unhappy. But this is his chance to sort of maybe get over it. Because of the games he played, he was quite poor. And obviously when we signed him, he was out for a long time. And then Postelacci, this is the player we just talked about. This will be his OIS debut, first-team debut for us. The former PSG man. Let's see if we can beat AFC Eskilstuna. And then on the bench, we've got a few other young players. Diallo, got Jokeres on there, Ricard Backlund, and Juliano Gatica, just to complement them. So, been linked with a lot of jobs lately. Sheffield Wednesday approached us, but we didn't get the job. Now Jönköping, Falkenberg, these are teams in the second division which have absolutely no interest in joining. So here are the games today in the Cup. I mean, there could be some upsets, potentially. We do not want to be one of those upsets. So, let's get into the game. And while we prepare for it, just want to say big shout out to everyone who's subscribed. Please do hit that subscribe button and give us a follow as well on Twitter if you're there, or YouTube. And yes, hello to ADT, one of our most prominent commentators on this save. Great to have you with us. Hope you're doing well. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on some of these players in the team now. Now, in real life, Omi Odari is quite a good player, so we're going to hard tackle him and close him down. Good little player, used to be linked with Fulham at one point. Back on the Nordic Football podcast, we talked about him quite a lot in the past. But in this game, I don't know why he's still in the third division, to be honest. And I'm going to just tell them I want them to win here. There's no messing about. I expect you to win this game. Don't want any complacency. So let's get into it. Obviously, AFC Eskilstuna, so it's not many fans. For those who don't know, they're not a very well supported club in Sweden. They're actually one of the most hated teams in the league, in the whole of the country, in fact, mainly because of their ownership model and their 50+1 rule. They're obviously similar to the Bundesliga. There's that 50+1 kind of model in Sweden with memberships, and people don't like AFC Eskilstuna because they believe they flout it. Now, anyway, early save there for Pontus Andersson, who's a young goalkeeper, by the way. He's only 20. We're giving him a chance as well. So an early chance there for AFC. Got no fans here at all, is there? And yeah, we do not want to lose this game. In fact, I'm not going to go control. I'm going to just change the tactics to attacking. So yeah, this is a real chance for a lot of players. You know, we'll learn a lot about some of the fringe players in this episode. You know, who should stay? Should Hopkins get a new contract maybe? You know, Olsen and Mukumbi, what can they do? And here's Postolacci, his debut for the club, and he's banged one in. He's banged it in on his debut. 20-yard blockbuster. Incredible strike. Well, 14 minutes in, Mukumbi with the through ball. Pogba-esque. Postolacci onto it, one touch, and bang. What a hit that is. Well. We do need a striker. And that is a clinical finish. We haven't seen many of those finishes on this save, to be honest, in this season from our strikers. So, Lucas Fernandez, Patrick. Maybe have a little look at Postolacci there, his finishing style, because that was fantastic from the former PSG man. Is he a gem? Maybe, that we've discovered. But anyway, let's not get complacent because it's 1-1. Brighton Lebeau, he's looked lively, hasn't he, to start this match, and he's equalised straight away. One ball over the top. I mean, Hopkins, Hermansson, they've got to be a bit sharper there. That's poor marking. Hopkins is aging a bit, but Hermansson's 22, as we said. Is he cut out for OIS? You know, I want to hear your opinion on this. Is Daniel Hermansson, as you can see, highlighted there? Keep an eye on him in this match. Is he of the level to play for OIS, or should we maybe consider getting rid of him? Mukumbi were there with a crunching tackle. Yeah, young Congolese-man. Sent off in his last game because he is a bit of a... We're making quite a few fouls, so I'm going to... I think Viclander looks like it's going to get a red yellow card. I'm going to just turn it to stuck on your feet. Be more expressive and run at defence. Let's not get too many yellow cards. Don't want to be down to 10 men in a sort of game like this, do you? Because... Well, Hermansson, that's a foul, surely. He's lost the ball, and they've scored. It's 2-1. Well, there's an upset on the cards here. Hermansson's lost possession. We talked about him. Is he cut out for this club? He's lost the ball there. Lebeau has come in again, and he's squared it. Hopkins nowhere to be seen. Luis Pedro has missed it. And we're 2-1 down now. So now we really are up against it. And what is that pass? They're all over us. Pontus Anderson with a great save. Well, they're absolutely all over us. Well, this is quite worrying. Just do a little bit of a team talk here. Going to be a bit aggressive. Screaming at them from the touchline, Goteborgsson there. Screaming at them to concentrate. I'm going to have a little look at this Brighton LeBeau after this game, by the way, because he's looked lively. I like what I see of him. But look at the ratings. Hopkins, Hermansson's got a good rating, but I'm not sure. And it's half-time. We're 2-1 down in the cup. Some poor performances there. Hopkins is looking a bit. Is he looking a bit old now? Our captain. I'm going to go mad at it. I'm going to go aggressive. That's not good enough. Begovic looking furious. Vixlander Lundqvist looking frustrated. Soren Reeks looking frustrated. Well, Reeks, he's been complaining to the squad about wanting first team football. What exactly is he doing here then? He's got his chance. And he's doing nothing. So, yeah, this is worrying. I'm going to take Vixlander Lundqvist off. And I'm a bit worried about his long-term future, I'll be honest. I'm going to bring Rickard Lint on. He's another youngster. There he is. 20 years old as well. A young left-back. Lundqvist, yeah, as I said, he's had 12 months of injuries over the past 2 years. And I'm worried about his development. He was really, as a 16-year-old, he was really, really promising. But it's a poor game. He's been booked. He's on 6.4. He's looking frustrated. Can't take the risk. He's going to have to come off. And everyone else is just going to get a rocket. And that'll do. Just send them back out. Let's just change one or two things tactically. Not going to play the offside trap. Doesn't seem to be working. Not going to pass into space. Going to go a bit more direct. So yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. Drop a comment below. And also, do hit the like button because that does help us with the algorithms on YouTube, of course. You've always got to play the numbers. But yeah, I'm going to... We're in danger here. We're in big danger. Just going to ask them to keep possession. Yeah, we're in big danger of going out of the cup here, which I don't want. That's the balance. When you play a young team and you drop a lot of first team players, you do risk going out of the cup, don't you? That is not what we want in this game. We do not want to go out. And Makumbu scores. Antoine Makumbu is looking good, isn't he? 2-2, goal and assist. Postolacci there lays it off. Olsen with the ball. Oppo and Guet. And Antoine Makumbu there. Well, he played a lovely ball for the first goal. And now he has equalised. So, it's 2-2. I think it might be time for a change. Going to make a double change here. Going to take off Soren Reeks. Don't think he's done anything. And they're going to bring on the veteran Daniel Sleeper. Could bring on Jokeris, to be honest. But, in fact, I'm just going to make one change. Sleeper is a bit of a veteran, but some of these games, you just want to, he's been a good servant to us. He's not played at all this season. 33, he'll be released at the end of the season. And I just want to reward him for his service with 18 minutes in the cup here. Just keep his morale up and keep him playing. But hopefully he's not going to let us down. Because we do not, this game's still in the balance. Now, it was well held by Pontus Anderson, who's a young, promising keeper. As I say, this save is all about youth. We've got the youngest average age in the league in Allsvenskan, in the Swedish division. And a lot of these young players are on the fringes at the moment, the ones you're watching here. And they're on the attack now. And they've scored. There's Hermansson. I'm not sure about this guy. Is he cut? Look at the marking here. Look at the marking. No. And it's deflected off him as well. I'm not convinced he's cut out for OIS. I'm afraid. And Patrick Hopkins has been even worse. We've got one more change to stay in the cup. Right, I'm going to go for something very different. Going to change it to 4-4-2. Going to take Hopkins off and going to put Zakaria Diallo, who, don't forget, he is a... Should we bring on Gyökeres? No, let's play Diallo. I wanted to rest Gyökeres, and that was the intention, but it's not really working, is it? But yeah, we'll take him off. Hopkins, our captain. I don't think he's done himself too many favours here. The 32-year-old, maybe it's time for us to let him go at the end of the season. This was a chance. He wants to stay, but is he worth it? 875 a week. I do love his personality, but he's been pretty poor here. So we'll go 4-4-2, and we're going to go attacking. Very fluid. Keep with the ball, stay on the feet, be more expressive, run at defence, work the ball into the box, a bit higher in offside trap. Play out of defence. So yes, a big tactical change. We don't play 4-4-2 very often. Going to go two up front, the two new players, Diallo and Postolacci. And let's see. Hang on, let's get these guys attacking. There's no point supporting. Next goal and we're out. Yeah, 10 minutes to save our cup status. So yeah, going to be a nervy 10 minutes. I think this is. I was not expecting it to be this difficult. They do have a good team, AFC. Oh, what's he done? Well, Hermansson. He's absolutely cocked it up there. What has he done? We're out. Brighton LeBeau. He looks very good, doesn't he? He looks sharp. That's a stinker from Hermansson. And we're 4-2 down. I mean, we're out of the cup. 5-2. This is appalling. This is a disgrace. Hermansson again lost his man. Can't take him off now because we've made all our subs. We're out. I mean, we're out of the cup. That's the bottom line. Team talk. I'm just gonna encourage them. But what can you do? We're about to go out of the cup at the preliminary rounds. This is shocking. Really shocking. I mean, our job could be on the line here because the board. We've already been under a bit of pressure in recent weeks, and Brighton LeBeau is playing like Pele. I'm gonna have to look at this guy afterwards because surely he can't be that good. I mean, they've carved us open here. Adari shouldn't be in the third division. Some of these players, I don't know what they're doing in the league below, but we've been awful. Defensively awful. Postolacci from 30 yards out nearly. Nah, this is absolutely shocking. Well, it's all over. AFC Eskilstuna 5, Orgryte 2. Teacups are going out here. That's not good enough to wear the shirt. That is. The fans are singing "You're not fit to wear the shirt" here. Makumbu 8.5, Postolacci 8.3. They maybe have a future. Every other player in this team. I mean, Nguet, okay, got an assist, but that's, he's our best player. He's on $4,000 a week. Every single other player in this team has a question mark now, in my opinion, on their futures. They can look frustrated all they want. That's not good enough. I mean, what's your analysis of that, guys? Tactically, have we got it wrong? I mean, have we played too many kids, maybe? Ricard Lintz made his voice debut. Upper and Gwinnett was quiet. Brighton LeBeau has turned in the performance of the highest quality. Brighton LeBeau hat-trick. Who is this guy? 24 years old. He's out of contract in the winter, sorry. 18 games, 6 goals. What's his history? He's at Monaco. He had 6 goals last year, 7 goals last year. I mean, is he the future striker that we just talked about? We could even approach to sign him. I'm going to get him scouted. I mean, this might be... we might end up signing this guy because he wants 900 a week. And he's absolutely torn us to pieces here. He's ripped OIS a new one. And we are not in source. It's OIS in deep shit here, to be honest. Shocking performance. Absolutely shocking. Well, we're out of the cup. A few other results. Kalmar won 7-0. AIK won. I mean, let's see what the reaction is. It's a surprise result. Board is still pleased, but I mean that's unacceptable for an OIS team. Goteborgsson slams team, absolutely furious. And I mean, just look at this quickly before we go. We'll wrap up this show now. But this is the third time this season we've conceded 5 goals. 1 against AFC Eskilstuna, 1 against Orgryte. We lost 5-1 at home to them. And Norrköping we lost 5-0, which is, they're the best team in the league pretty much with Malmo. So I can't complain there. Orgryte was a shocker though. But, sometimes you have those days. But 5 against a third division team. That is not acceptable. So yeah, okay. Gonna wrap it up now. Leave a comment, we'll be back. We're gonna do a deep analysis of this game because it's not good enough, and that is very worrying, to be frank. I wanted to give these players some chances because I thought they could maybe be our future. But leave us a comment about these players. Who has a future? Who doesn't? Who is it time to get rid of? Who should we keep? I think Mkumbu is the only one I can say I'm excited about after that match. Maybe Postolacci, but even he didn't do a great deal, did he? So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Fans disappointed. I can't believe it. I'm actually stunned here. So we're completely out of the cup. That'll be it. There'll be no group stages next season. We'll be not in even taking part. A shocking performance. Let's just see the attendance quickly, because we said AFC have no fans. Yeah, 561 fans. A disgrace. Well, anyway, we'll dissect the game, and as I said, Goteborgsson has slammed his players, but at the end of the day, the manager takes responsibility, doesn't he? So we'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Please drop us a subscription, hit the subscribe button, or follow us on Twitter at Nordic Footpod or at Just Football. We'll be back for another episode soon. We've got the running coming up. Figured out that we need about 10 points probably to stay up from our last 7 games. We've got the derby. We've got 2 derbies coming up, so we'll see which one of these games will bring you. Maybe bring you the Osters game. Obviously, they're our biggest rivals for relegation, so maybe one of those 2 games will bring you. But we'll be back in time for the next episode. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.